The Huawei Mate 9 I already introduced to you on the launch event, but now we have a closer look, literally, so that you can see some of the beautiful details here of that, really beauty it is with that aluminum unibody, and especially our first test results for you, battery runtime, processor performance, a closer look into the feature sets, and especially I have measured it. So we can now say it's exactly 5.88 inch or 149 millimeters. And with that, we have, you remember, 1080 by 1920 pixels resolution. So the exact sharpness now is 373 ppi. That's 19% below the average. Yes, but wait, especially first of all, you have a great viewing angle stability because this is dual domain IPS. So you can see here, great, wonderful, love it. And especially I have measured in the center here of the screen the brightness, and that's exactly 600 nits. That's 26% above the average. So meaning it's very bright even for an IPS LCD screen. That's rank 6 compared to all phones I've presented you and tested in the last 24 months. So really good. And for that, I'd say, okay, it's a good screen and resolution is at least okay. We can live with that. And there are some more advantages. Before we come to that, let me call it here from the dimensions that this is 79 by 157 millimeters in thickness. Here on the edge there it's 4.5 millimeters here, and the thickest I measured is here where the backside camera is coming out a little bit. This is 9.0 millimeters, and in the average here on the back it's 8.1 millimeters, and the weight is not 190 grams as Huawei told us on the launch event. It's exactly 194, but on this range it doesn't matter at all. But why I'm telling this is because now we can measure the ratio between the area we have touchscreen and the complete size of the phone. And with that we are here 77%. So meaning 77% of the phones are screen area, and that's 11% more than usual, and rank 2 on the current charts compared to the last 2 years competitors. So meaning there is not much space wasted. So really very well done. And especially you have concerning the internal memory, at least I know 64 gigabyte is globally the smallest version here, and of that are leaving net 48.16 gigabyte. Okay, you can have depends in the countries, but normally this should be pre-installed here. And if you have update that, you need Facebook, Twitter, Office, I guess, so you can just maybe Todoist and Booking.com delete. So let's call it's 48.2 gigabyte net, but that's totally enough, I'd say, especially because remember, we have that slot here, that hybrid slot, so you can have a micro SD card officially up to 2 terabyte or a second nano SIM inserted. So I'd say way enough for the most of you. Then coming to the processor performance, because I'm doing some kind of weird stuff here, because I take more than 50 single values, combine it to one overall value, and in that we have 97% above the average. That Kirin 960 inside here. Remember, also a new graphic GPU, that's the Mali G71, and 97% means rank 6 once more compared to the current competition. So up of that is the iPhones, iPhones SE, iPhone 6S. So meaning for an Android phone, it's one of the most powerful Android phones you can find on the market. So compare this, we have that great resolution, great performance. The only thing is the resolution, and concerning that, and there's way more to come, I find it acceptable, let's call it like that, because I know what the results of the battery runtime are. Huawei is telling us that it's 4000 milliamps, but all apps I tried out giving me a result of 3900 milliamps, you see here, for example. All right, this might depend on that you have the choice as manufacturer what kind of value you communicate. Is it minimum? Is it typical? Is it maximum? So, but never mind, because in the runtime test, and that's like always, video playback at 200 nits from the display here. And by the way, remember 600 nits is very bright here. So down to 200 nits for the test in flight mode. And with that, the Mate 9 makes it up for 718 minutes. That's 45% above the average rank 3. And especially if you remind this big screen here, so even the best runtime compared or in relation to the display size. So Huawei is really doing a good job. So don't mind if it's 4000 or 3900 milliamps, it's running long. And especially with 45% above the average, even heavy users should come through the day. If you do not, let's say, permanent usage and display on 600 nits, all right, then it might be get in the evening a little bit close, but regular users make it through 2 days, I'd say. So especially runtime, performance, display quality here. So that's what I meant concerning the resolution here. I would say it's okay. And especially you have, remember, LTE, 4G, 600 megabits, you have fingerprint sensor and everything. And of course, you have Android 7.0 pre-installed. Then, with that, coming to the things I wanted to show you. And first of all, this is a setting I didn't see, to be honest, for myself on the launch event, and that's here, that you can choose here without having to install anything, any app, the app launcher or app drawer or menu or whatever you call it. See all apps alphabetically sorted. You have that quick scroll here on the side, or just tap on it where you want to. You have the search. I really find that very useful here. And especially, you see, you have that different arrangement of the apps here on the home screen. So if you go back to that, it's saved. So it's not completely changed everything. So you can change between 2 modes as often as you want to and keep the previous arrangement here of the apps on the home screens. So they made really in the details even very much the sorts of. But let me go back to this one here because I have prepared a little bit for you. But let's go on here because there's a second thing I wanted to show you, and that's the navigation. You might know that you always can change that on Huawei or Honor devices here, especially that you want to change the back icon here from the left side to the right side. So if you come from Samsung, for example, and are used to it, this is really helpful. And the fourth icon here is to open the notification center. That's especially helpful if you have one-hand usage and do not want to go your thumb the whole way up here. Unfortunately, you cannot anymore, like on former Huawei devices, drag and drop here and choose yourself. For example, I want to have no. And this is, of course, something, I guess, how do I come back here? Like, so, yeah, why not on the first time? Here we are. So this is something I would prefer to have that on the left, for example. If I'm used to have with the left in one-hand usage, because to go for here, that's a little bit weird. I'm not quite sure if this is depending on Android 7 here, that you cannot have anymore this drag and drop here, but at least this is better than nothing. Let's call it like that. What I really appreciate is something a little bit down here, and that's App Twin. So you can clone apps, and especially helpfully if you use this as dual SIM device, because normally you can just install once an app under Android. Here you can clone or twin it, and that means you can use an app with two accounts, especially WhatsApp, for example. If you have, let's say, one business card and SIM card and one private SIM card inserted, so you have two different WhatsApp accounts in most cases, I'd say. So you can use both cards and WhatsApp with two different numbers, phone numbers, or for example, Facebook or whatever you want to install. This is now just a kind of a pure phone here, you see, just installed some benchmarks so they don't appear here for twinning that, but very, very helpful. I really can imagine that. Then I wanted to give you a little bit more information, because some of you asked, is this a stereo speaker below here? Because it really looks like it would be, but it isn't, unfortunately. This is just for the optics, the left one here. The music or sound, let's call it like that, is coming right only from the right one here. And let me demo that, because we have a little bit something coming out here too. So it's kind of semi-stereo, whatever. Let me turn the volume a little bit more. So, and if you see or hear that, if I'm fading out this one, you have just on the upper thing here a little bit. This is a treble. This is mids and basses, kind of, I don't want to call it stereo, but we will have a closer look or eye on this in a separate sound check video I will do for you, so we can have that listened a little bit carefully, a little bit more. But just for that one, I wouldn't call this stereo. And last of all, game check. Remember, I'm always doing that trigger too, because this is a graphically very advanced game. So this is good for having some kind of practice check how much performance is giving it. This is a median of 59. Maximum is 60, but you see here every single frame. So in most cases, you really also have 60 frames. This is when you have a new level here. This is a break. Then that is dropping a little bit to 49 frames per second. Nevertheless, never mind, you will get a very smooth gaming experience here. And so that's why I prepared this a little bit here. Don't want to game much longer. What's happening here? Okay, a little bit too quick maybe, and let me put the volume down once more. Oh, unfortunately, it's starting again all over. So I'm sorry for that. Have to wait a little bit for that. But in case you do not know that trigger too, this is, not for everyone, let me call it like that, but one of the games that's really stressing the GPU and CPU as well. And you see here, this is the highest possible quality detail level I can choose. And even if I'm walking and having viewing angle change like this one here very rapidly, so you see this is very, very smooth and fluid and everything. I don't want to have that gamed here now because, no blood or something, but you can see here that this is really working very well. I hope this is enough for you to get a little quick experience how gaming on the Mate 9 would be. So we will have, of course, a final review, like always, as text on my website, mobiwatch.net. Especially, we will have an assessment here of the camera quality and the sound quality, even especially on the headphone out. So if you use earplugs or something, this is all coming in the final review. Give me some more days. This takes a little bit time, but I'm hurrying to get the review out. That's enough for the moment from the Huawei Mate 9. Thanks for watching. Take care and bye.